Yeah, it's mindset cafe, we all about that mindset. Gotta stay focused, never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes, only positive thoughts.
We are not the same. I looked in your cup to see if you had enough. You looked in mine to see if I had more than you. We're not the same. That line explains a lot. Why some people build, why some people resent, why some people will support you, why some people quietly compete with you. Because what you look for in others reveals what's inside of you. If you've checked someone else's quote unquote cup to make sure they're okay, that's character. If you've checked their cup to see if they have more than you, that is envy. And envy will ruin your life. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Cafe podcast. It's your boy, Devin. And today we are breaking down the one quote I just mentioned. And if you really get this one, it will change how you pick your friends, build your teams, how you read people, and protect your peace. The quote is simple, right? I looked in your cup to see if you had enough. You looked in mine to see if I had more than you. We are not the same. So I want to try to make this simple. This episode is about two mindsets, right? One mindset asks, are you good, right? The other mindset asks, why do you have more than me? One builds trust, the other builds resentment. One creates real relationships and the other one hides the competition, right? Creates that hidden competition. And if you don't learn how to spot the difference, you'll keep letting the wrong people sit closest to you. So let's get into a little bit, right? What does the quote really mean? And is as simple as it seems, right? The quote isn't really about cups, obviously, right? It's about character. It's about intention. What are you looking for when you look at other people? Are you checking on them? Are you measuring yourself against them? That is a difference, right? And that matters because one comes from care and the other one comes from comparison. And that kind of comparison turns people ugly, fast. So here's a little bit of truth for you. Two people can look at the same exact situation and reveal two completely different hearts. One sees need, the other sees threat. And why that line hits, we are not the same, because you're not. One person is wired to serve and the other one is wired to compare, right? Scarcity mindset makes most people count other people's blessings, right? And there's a reality to that, right? The scarcity makes people obsessed with what other people have. And for example, like they'll count your money, right? They'll see your wins, they'll see your views, they'll see your clients, they'll see your body, your relationships, your opportunities, etc. And while they're counting your blessings, they're ignoring their own work. That's why they're staying stuck. And because they feel stuck, envy starts to steal that focus, right? And whatever steals your focus steals your future. Most people think that envy is just an emotion. It's not. It is a tax. It is a tax on your energy. It is a tax on your peace. It is your discipline, your ability to build and grow. If you spend all day checking who has more or who has what, you won't spend enough time becoming more. The difference between it's the difference between abundance and envy, right? Abundance says, I want to see you win. Envy says, I don't want you to win if it reminds me I'm not moving forward. I'm not winning. That is the real separation, right? Abundance can celebrate someone else without making it personal, but envy always makes it personal. When you're abundant, another person's success is proof. It's proof it can be done. It's proof there's room for growth. There's room for more, right? It's proof that the game is possible. The success is possible, right? When you're envious of another person's success, right, their success feels like an attack, right? Like they took something from you, even though they didn't. And that is a weak mindset to be in. And it's a dangerous mindset to be in, because now you stop learning from other people and you just start resenting them. You stop being able to extract the lessons that are giving you, essentially. Like you can see what they've done to achieve success and adjust your plan so that you can continue success, and you just start hating on them for no reason, right? Some people don't compete with you openly either, right? They compete quietly. And this is important. Not everyone who smiles at you, not everyone who smiles at you is for you, right? Some people clap for you in public, but compare you in private. Some people say they support you, but what they really mean is, I support you as long as you don't pass me, as long as you don't get better than me. And honestly, that's real in life. I've seen it time and time again. And if you live long enough, you'll see it too, I promise, if you haven't already. These are people who ask questions with the wrong spirit, right? They're not trying to learn anything. They're not trying to understand anything. It is purely to measure, judge, count, etc. How much did you make? How many clients do you have? How did you get that? Who's helping you, right? And the question is not always the problem. It's the spirit or the mindset behind it. And that's what you need to be able to read and see, right? The way people respond to your wins will start to reveal their character. So pay attention to how people respond when something good happens for you or to you, right? Because that's just data that you need for that relationship. Do they celebrate you? Do they get quiet? Do they change the subject? Do they minimize it? Do they make it a joke? Do they bring up themselves right away? That stuff matters, because support is easy when you're struggling, but support is rare when you are starting to rise. A lot of people love the version of you they can feel comfortable around. They don't love the version of you that forces them to confront their own lack of discipline. So don't just listen to what people say, but watch how they react when you win. That reaction will tell you the truth, right? Body language and reaction speaks louder than words, right? So here's a simple rule on that for you. Good people will check your condition, right? Bad people will check your position, right? And so condition is essentially like, are you okay? Do you need anything? How can I help? Position is, are you ahead of me? Did you get more than me? Why do you have that? How did you get there, right? And that difference of questions is everything, because the condition creates connection. Position creates competition. And not all competition is healthy. Some competition is just insecurity wearing a mask. And this shows up in friendships, business, family. And so to make it real, this is not just, social media stuff, but this shows up everywhere. And for example, let's say friendships, right? One friend checks on your mental state. The other wants to know if your life is doing better than theirs. Business, for example. One partner asks, what does your company need? The other one will ask, am I getting as much as you? Right? For example, in family, one family member wants you healthy. Another one wants you small enough so they don't feel behind you. And if you've ever outgrown the room, you probably felt this. You thought essentially the people around you would be proud, and maybe some were, but I guarantee some probably got weird around you as well, right? And that's what essentially the quote is talking about, right? One person checked your cup to make sure that you had enough, to make sure that you're okay. The other person checked your cup just to see if you had more than them. And that separation is not the same in people. Envy makes people miss the whole point. And here's what envy, will do. It makes people miss the lesson, right? Instead of asking, how did you do that? They ask, why did you get that? The first question, right? How did you do that? It creates the opportunity of growth, right? You can teach them, they can do it, they can grow. The other question creates resentment because why did you get that? There's no lesson in that, right? Most people don't need more information. They need to stop talking and taking from other people's success and taking it personally. Because when you personalize someone else's win, you block your own growth. An emotionally mature person sees a result and asks, what can I learn from that? An immature person sees the results and asks, how can I discredit that? There is a split there. Comparison will make you miserable, even when you're winning. It is a trap. Comparison doesn't just hurt the people who are behind, but it hurts everybody. Because if your peace depends on being ahead, you will never rest. There will always be someone with more money, more followers, more attention, more status, right? There was always a bigger dog in the park, right? So if your brain is trained to scan for who has more, you're done, right? You will stay gated forever, right? You'll stay stagnant forever. You will stay stuck forever. That's why gratitude is important, because it doesn't just sound nice, but it protects your mind from that kind of poison, right? Gratitude can keep you building your life. Comparison will keep you stalking someone else's. Character shows up in what you notice, right? Pay attention to what your eyes look for. That will tell you who you are becoming. Do you notice needs, or do you notice status? Do you notice where you can help or serve, or do you notice where do I feel behind? Because your attention becomes your character. What you feed grows, right? We've talked about that, the two wolves, right? If you keep feeding comparison, you become bitter. If you keep feeding gratitude and servitude, then you become stronger. This is not an abstract, thought, right? This is not an abstract strategy. This is just what happens, right? This also can change your marriage. This can change your friendships. It can change your team, your leadership, your peace. So stop explaining your wins to envious people, right? Sounds practical, but stop trying to explain your wins to people committed to misunderstanding you. They're not asking to understand, they are asking to compare. There is a huge difference in that. You do not owe long explanations for your progress. You do not need to shrink your wins to make other people feel okay. You do not need to apologize for your discipline. If you earned it, own it calmly, without arrogance, but also without guilt. Because if you start managing your success around insecure people, you will betray your own growth. And honestly, that's just bullshit, right? Build with the people who want you fed, not small, right? Build your life around people who want you healthy, clear, strong, and in all the right areas. Not people who want you insecure so that they can feel safe. You want people to ask, like, do you have enough? Not people who ask it directly, but quietly, like, do you have, or do you need any help, right? Do you have enough? Are you okay? Like that's what you want. Not the people that indirectly and quietly, essentially, like, do you have more than me, right? Why are you winning and I'm not? Like, that kind of mindset. You don't need those people in your circle, right? Because this matters in, again, like I said, marriage, friendships, business, leadership, because the people near you shape your mindset, your nervous system, your confidence, your pace of growth, right? Your standards for yourself. If you are constantly around people who compare, you will feel the tension, right? You will feel, or if you're around people who truly support you, you will feel peace, right? Pick the better of the two rooms. You can't build a great life with a hidden competition next to you. This is a warning I'm trying to just give you guys, because you cannot build something great while people that are surrounding you resent your growth. Why is that? Because that hidden competition will destroy trust. It will destroy boundaries. And the trust is essentially the base layer of everything, right? In any of those areas. Once trust is gone, everything gets heavy. Conversations get weird. They get tense. Your support will feel fake, right? Wins feel unsafe to mention. You start editing yourself so that you don't make other people uncomfortable, and that kills your momentum. So don't ignore the signs. Weird energy is data. Pay attention to it. What you can do instead is essentially 3 steps, right? Watch how people respond to your win, right? That will tell you more than what they actually say when you struggle. Because when you win and someone responds to that, you will see their facial reactions, you'll see their body language. That will tell you more than when you're struggling. Everyone wants to help you when you're struggling. But when you're winning, that will tell you the separation of who's in your circle. And then the second part is, right, check your own heart, right? Check your own mindset. When someone else wins, what do you feel first? Do you feel inspiration or do you feel irritation, right? Because that answer matters. If you are starting to become the envious person, fix it. And then the last part to it is like build with people who care about your well-being, not your ranking. You want to be with people who ask, how are you? You don't want to be with people just like, what do you have, right? That is the move, right? Less comparison, more clarity, less scoreboard with your circle, more substance, right? So I want you to audit your circle, right? Doesn't have to be super dramatic or anything like that, right? But just honestly look at who your circle is and ask yourself, who checks on me? Who checks on my condition? Who quietly watches my position, my growth? Then ask the harder question, when I look at other people, what am I looking for? Am I checking if they're okay, or am I checking if they're ahead? Because if whatever you're looking for will reveal you. And if you don't like what it reveals, change it. That's it, just change it. And I'll wrap it up by saying, like, I looked up, just to wrap it up with the quote one more time, to kind of keep it fresh in mind. I looked in your cup to see if you had enough. You looked up in mine to see if I had more than you. We are not the same. So be the first of the two, right? I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. If you guys ever need anything, always reach out. Realize that I'm looking in your cup to see if you have enough, right? I'm here to support you. Make sure you guys share this episode with a friend. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
No negative vibes, only positive thoughts. Just in the game of life, mindset causes shots. Got my mind on the prize, I can't be distracted. I stay on my grind, no time to be slacking. I hustle hard, I go against